Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's lesson on cash flow statements. Very important before we start on this is that you ask yourself if you know the format of your income statement and your balance sheet and the notes very well, as this is based on that information from the past year. You have to know why we are doing this. Firstly, the company law states that it's compulsory, so we have to draw up this statement, which would then be your third financial statement. It's my favorite piece of the work, or part of the work. I love doing cash flow statements. Of course, it's in every single exam paper, usually question 4. So after this, go out and maybe get old exam papers and practice. We will have to see where the cash of the company for the past financial year, where it came from and where it went to. The shareholders will definitely be interested in that. Of course, our money should come mainly from the money generated from our day-to-day operations. So let's first look at the format of a cash flow and then where the information will come from, and then we'll do activity 6, and if there's time, we'll do activity 7. Right, so here's activity 6 in front of me, and here is my answer page. As you can see, let me just move it down a bit. As you can see, they did not ask for any notes, which is what they love to do in exams. You will in class obviously do all the notes in detail, but it's very important to eventually be able to do it like this. Right. Firstly, I will, on the white paper, show you in more detail, but we have to see that we have operating activities. I'm going to highlight that for you here in pink. Now, your day-to-day operations, this one is a bit dry. Let's try the other one. So, your day-to-day operations should make you think of your profit for the year. And we hope that the top of this block will be a positive amount. If, however, we either have a lot of money that came in, we will be able to invest the money. Now you have to think of fixed assets. You have to think of investments, fixed deposits. Then let's say we find that it's too much that we need to invest. You have to ask yourself, where will the money come from? So that's your third section. Only 3 sections, the financing activities. Now the net effect of these 3 blocks, it's nice because you can remember 3 blocks. Just like with a balance sheet, it's divided into your assets at the top, which is equal to your equity plus your liabilities. In this case, my operating activities plus or minus my investing activities plus or minus my financing activities will show me what I'm trying to figure out, my net change in cash and cash equivalents. And then, of course, like everything in accounting, you have to double check what you're doing. So if I have my cash at the beginning and my cash at the end, I can work back up to see, is this amount correct? I love to start here, but every teacher will have their own preference. Right. Let's first, you can just follow what I'm doing here. Just see how you would roughly work it out if you were going to work on let's take another pen, on a blank piece of paper. I'll draw my 3 blocks. Let's see if that is clear. And it's easy to learn. It sounds like I'm teaching you a recipe, but I believe in knowing your formats first. 4 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines. Let's see if you can remember. Let's see if you can remember what the first block was for. Right? Hopefully some of you remembered. Operating activities. If you have your textbook with you on the page where the format is, see if you can find it there. Next, we want to know the investing activities. Where did the money go to? Then next, you'll say, well, did I maybe have to finance some of that? Or even better, could I actually take the money that I earned, the cash that I earned, and pay off my past finance amounts like loans and so on? Or I could even repurchase shares. Right, before I go on too long about that, the net effect here, what I'm working towards, because this is a cash flow, everything is just cash, is the net change think that's big enough, in my cash and cash equivalents. And then to that, I will add my cash and cash equivalents at the start of the year. Like if the net effect was 10 Rand, 8 Rand went out, we're in a little bit of trouble here. Let's go finance some of that, because if I then get in 4 Rand, you'll have 2 Rand left plus 4. So it's an inflow of cash. I might have started the year with a -3, like a bank overdraft for 3 Rand or 3,000 or 3 million. At least I end then cash at the end of the year, cash and cash equivalents at the end, with a positive amount. So, easy to remember, 3 main sections. Operating activities, where the money should come from, day-to-day hard work and making a profit. Investing activities could go either way. You invest, or the investment matures and you get the money back, or financing activities. Let's put this paper aside and let's start with our exercise. Right, you will tell me if I am going too fast, if I'm going too slow. Well, it's not a bad thing, I think. Right, first thing, you have your question there in front of you, activity number 6. Don't just jump in a question and start before you've read the intro paragraph. You have to know it's Brave Limited. You have to know your financial year. This is not our usual one that starts 1 March and ends 28 February. So in other words, if it ends 31 October 17, when did it start? You work that out quickly. What's the next morning? 1 November. So then it always starts on 1 November. This one would have started there. Very important. Now you put yourself in that frame of mind, in that financial year. So the instruction now, complete the cash flow. See, they've already done, like I warned you, some of it for us. So it's not like necessarily the textbook exercises. You have to be able to jump in and do the pieces required. So let's start. This is the information you'll be getting. Because remember, you've just finished your income statement. Now the items to mark here that you'll be using later will always be depreciation. I usually just tick them as I go along, which I'll do later. You'll need your interest on loan, but please remember, when you do this, it's interest expense. Now think quickly, what other forms of interest expense are there? Interest on loan. Hopefully in your class you're saying to yourself or to your friends, interest on overdraft, and then even interest on overdue creditors. So remember, all interest expense. Right, let's get back to our question. The profit before tax I'm going to use, because that's operations, that's operating activities, and then my income tax. Right. Next piece of information. Why are they giving me the balance sheet for 2 financial years? Obviously, I'm in the 27 financial year. Let's just go look at the top again. I'm in the October 27 financial year, but it started in 2016, because this movement from last year to this year shows you what changes there were and eventually what effect it has on my cash. Now you have to, just like a balance sheet balances, a cash flow must in the end have the correct answer. So we need to use every item in the balance sheet eventually. So that's why, like any question in accounting, tick off as you go along. In the notes, like always, in my notes, they'll give me more information. Now sometimes it's given like this. They just say figures. Sometimes they give you the actual notes. I'm warning you now, you'll see later. We are not including shareholders for dividends and SARS income tax ever in the first bit of work, because they are actually not the first bit of work. Watch out for them, you'll see later. Okay, let's get started. To fill in the detail, we've now got cash flow from operating activities. They've done this for us. Cash generated from operations. I've gone and checked their amount. That's note number 1. We might have time to do such a note later. We'll check the time. But this note, you cannot just show here. It's a long note. I can actually show you later. Okay, so let's see. Interest paid must be deducted because you must remember this is money from operations. Think operating profit. Think operating profit in the income statement. And interest will decrease it. You can immediately, when you know your format, make more brackets. Why? I'm going to pay more things. What will the company pay? They'll definitely pay income tax. Don't know why, but we put it at the second line. And you have to say the word paid. I hope you can read my handwriting there. Then you have dividends paid. Dividends paid. Right. Are you writing your format as well? Okay. Let's see. Where will I get the information for dividends paid? And again, I'm showing you that's the end. No notes required. So I'm going to put it next to dividends paid. But I'll first explain. Before I show you the question again, tell me, or if you can't tell me, think, what 2 ledger accounts have you been doing this year that has something to do with dividends? You're supposed to think of shareholders for dividends and dividends on ordinary shares. They link. They are linked. Where will I find them? Let's look at our balance sheet. You have to look at this balance sheet now. If you're struggling to find it, you don't know the format. Learn the format of the balance sheet. It's at the bottom somewhere. Okay, this one, look at this one. This is a mixed up list. It's just an extract. There we go. So I'm going to tick as I go along. Where is it? There. Oh, yeah, let me find it. Oh, no, it's not there. There we go. Shareholders for dividends. It's not in here because it's a current liability. There we go. See, every question's different. Okay, let's get started. What does this amount mean? Shareholders for dividends is a liability. Who owes who? We owe them the amount. Now, this whole cash flow statement is about cash inflow, cash outflow. I'm afraid we'll have to start the year by paying what we promised, which is, of course, last year's final dividend. Let's get started. On your answer page, minus 595,000 Rand. I'm writing bigger than normal, so I might not be able to fit it in one line. Right. Then what does this mean? Back to my information. The 656,000 is at the end of this financial year, the amount for final dividend. What does it mean if it's here? It's the amount I promised but haven't paid yet, the amount declared. In cash flow, if we have not paid it, where's the money? The money is with us, so that's not an outflow. It's seen as an inflow. So I'm leaving the middle open for now, and I'm going up there where I have some more space, and I'm saying I still have the 656,000 Rand. Right, so what have I said here? I said I started the year by paying last year's final dividend. Done, paid, money out, minus. I'm working towards a bracket. Then I'm saying there's something waiting there for me, but I'm saying, no, the 656 has not been paid. It's this year's final dividend. Okay. Why am I leaving a gap open? Look at the second page of your information. You're always going to look for a bullet or a number E or something that says anything about dividends. It can be given, as we know, in many different ways. Now, when they say the director paid an interim dividend, then that's also money out. I'm going to show you what's going on here on a little timeline I'm going to draw here. There we go. We started, if you look at the information again, owing them 595,000 Rand. What is this? Final for last year. I've just read on this page there, I owe them 533, and I paid it immediately. So my interim dividend was 533,000 Rand, interim dividend. But what am I reading here? Back to the information on the previous page. 656,000 final for this year. Now, how does this work? I'll make a little bullet there. Right. This one, pay as soon as possible. Paid. Money out. This one, well, it's a dividend. It's an interim dividend. It says pay immediately, so let's pay. This is the shortcut to my answer, which I think in this question they wanted to do. If I'm going to quickly add that, 595,000 plus 533,000, I know, you know, we've only paid 1,128,000 Rand, and that's actually the answer for this cash flow line. But the official notes say the following. I hope this is going to be understandable. If you start with a balance, this is the official note. If we want to give you more marks, that's why I'm going into this. You have to be able to do it officially with a long note, as in the, well, it's not long, in the textbook, and to do the shortcut and to recognize that. The balance, let's see, was 595 from last year. Why am I putting it in a bracket? Because money out. And now they say, I always tell my students, you can remember BAB, B-A-B, A for amount on financial statements, and then balance at the end of the year. What is the amount on the financial statements? We're talking about this. Think the retained income note. Think dividends on ordinary shares, the little block that you did. It has both in. It has paid and it has declared, right? Let's add that. 533, I'll put the calculator here, there. 533,000 interim plus 656,000 final. I was supposed to pay that amount, so let me write it down. 1,189,000. 1,189,000 Rand. Now you ask yourself, remember this is the official note. It's called note number 3. Did I actually pay that? No. That part of the total was not paid. It was only declared. So now I'm going to say paid, paid, bracket, bracket, did not pay. And you can check me. We have to get the same answer. I'm watching. Oh, there's a few WhatsApps. I don't think it's anything for me yet, but I will watch out if anyone says that I must go slower or faster, or if you have a question, or if I made a mistake. Right. I'm ready to go put this answer in. You see? 2 options. Let's go here. I worked out the total was 1,189,000. Sorry? Let me move the paper down. Sorry, I got carried away there. I get very excited when I do accounting. I hope you love it too. I really, really love accounting. I like it when a plan comes together and I get an answer. Right, so we worked out over there, 1128. Let's put the 1128 in. First answer done. Feels to me as if I took very long. Hope you understood that. The good news is, if you can do this note, the dividends note, then the income tax note is going to be very logical now. I'm saying note because I don't have space there. It's actually note 3. If you look in your textbook, this is note 4, and this is them not wanting the note. Okay. Think for me, same as I asked there, what are the 2 ledger accounts that have to do with income tax that you've done and that you're probably writing tests about at this point of the term? It's income tax itself and SARS income tax. Next question, where do we find that? So let's see. No, first page of your information. Right. I'm going to tick off income tax now because I'm going to use it now. I'm then going to find SARS. Now, I was expecting to find SARS here in my balance sheet. If not, look at the information further down. There, I found it. I can also tick this off. I looked at it. I haven't ticked it. Remember, we just used this one. Now, the next one. Let me see how the ruler looks if I put it there. I love these little metal rulers. Let's see. SARS income tax. Now here I'm going to take the green highlighter and warn you of the following. Okay, it can be a credit or a debit. So there's no simple answer here. You have to think. What does the credit mean? At the start of the year, who owes who? It's a credit, it's a liability. We owe them. So we can start by saying pay. Go to your answer page. The amount is 41750. Look, I'm making a minus. Like I said, I'm struggling to fit it in here. I'm still struggling with this. I'll learn as I go along. Minus 41750 paid. I'm going to again leave the middle for later, because while you are here, look at this. While you're busy with a line, you might just as well finish the line. I'm ticking it already. Focus on this. At the end of this financial year, 2017, what does the debit mean? You've done the ledger, and in the ledger you can have a credit or a debit balance. This means it's under receivables or current assets. So in other words, who owes who now? They owe me. Now, if they owe me, how come somebody owes me money? I must have overpaid. What does overpaid mean? 28,500. I also paid that amount. See, I leave a gap, you'll see now. Okay? Started by paying what was due from the previous year. Ended by having overpaid. So we're using the word paid and the word paid, and it's a minus and a minus. Now let's see. What account have I not looked at? I haven't looked at income tax. Tax can't be anything other than a minus. Why? Income tax is an expense. We have to pay it. We all know that. So it's 560,000 Rand. And look what we've got here. A lot of payments. Pay, pay, pay. I'll explain again, but let's first calculate. Right, let's do this. I'm not going to put a negative. I'm just going to add and then know that it's a negative. So let's see. There's a 41,750 and a 560,000 and a 28,500. The total paid, 630,250. Just checking here. I don't want to give you wrong answers. Of course, it's right, 630,250. Right. I think we have enough time, because it's better that we only do activity 6 and understand it. So bear with me if you feel I'm going slow. And please ask questions if you have any questions. This is new for me, so I'm checking if you are WhatsApping me, even if you're just saying hello or whatever. Okay, let's see. Just like I told you before, maybe let's use the big pages again. Easy to remember, this is note 4. The official note says, show the balance at the start of the year, show the amount on the financial statements. I'm just shortening the sentence, just giving a word, it's easy to remember, and show the balance at the end of the year. Why am I putting brackets there immediately? Because the amount on financial statements always refers to my, let me find my page, income tax, 560. 560 over there. There we go. It can only be a negative. Let's go put that there. Same as what I did before, but now I might get 2 marks, maybe that's a bit much, but I might get 6 out of 6 here because I'm doing the official note. This and this depends. We said, I'll show you again, start of the year, I owe them. If I owe them at the start, I pay them. If not, what will happen? What happens if you don't pay SARS? You'll pay a penalty, you'll pay interest, and you'll be in slight trouble. Let's see. What does this mean? I said debit means they owe me. Why do they owe me? I overpaid them. 28,500. See, there we go again. Pay, pay, pay. Answer, worked it out already, so I'm just copying from what we did before. We said 630,250. Let's write it in. 630,250. Right. So to summarize this part, and then we'll finish the first section. When you work with SARS, income tax, I'm writing skew here, sorry about that. You also have to look at income tax. So those are the two that you look at, and then you tick them off, used, done. You also, I'll write straight now, you also, when you want to know dividends paid, you look at shareholders for dividends. That's the first word. Today, my matrix asked me, what's the difference? They still get confused. So focus on shareholders for dividends. And then I said, what's the first word of the other one? It's dividends on ordinary shares. So focus on the first word. Right. Now let's see what I must do next. Let's see. I must get this total. I wonder if you guys realize that you've got all four amounts already. Let's see who's got the total first. Can you see my calculator? I'll move it a bit. Right, there we go. Too many zeros. 2844, 200 plus, no, bracket. Minus 336,000, minus 1128,000, minus 630250 equals 749950. 749950. Maybe not that clear, but hopefully you can see that. Wonder if I mustn't change to a pen. Let's see how the pen looks. 749950. Right. Section A done. Operating activities done. Let's move on to block number B. Investing activities. Now, investing activities, I said it has to do with your fixed assets and it has to do with your investments, your fixed deposit. 3 lines. Why? You can purchase fixed assets, which we have done. You can then sell old fixed assets, and you can have a fixed deposit going up or down. Fixed assets purchased, money out. Fixed assets sold, money in. Fixed deposit increased, must have spent some money, money out. A fixed deposit that matures, money in. All about cash. Let's fill in our words. I just want to remove this paper here at the back so that it doesn't bother us. Right, let's fill in our format. I've got the pen now. They've already done purchase of fixed assets for us, so we have to fast forward, of course in an exam much faster than I'm doing it, and write proceeds, you must learn your format, on sale of fixed assets. Right, I think that's a bit darker. Hopefully you can see. Now, I don't like this. They've done this for me. I really wanted to do that. But okay, I'll do what they want me to do. Let's then go to my big paper over here and work out proceeds on sale of assets. It is officially sort of note 5, but I'm going to just show you the following, and you're always going to do this. When you've got depreciation unknown, when you've got purchase unknown, anything to do with fixed assets, you think, where on my financial statements do I find fixed assets? Obviously in the fixed asset note, but it's a long note. How will you shorten the note? You just focus on the movement. So this is what you'll be writing down yourself neatly somewhere on a margin or somewhere when you write the test. Always carrying value, carrying value. That's the middle of your fixed asset note. What are my 3 movements? Additions, remember, at cost. Disposals, remember, at carrying value. And then depreciation. Now remember, if this is still a bit difficult, then the problem is that you don't know your notes. Go back to balance sheet, learn the format. But you've done this since grade 11, and it's a big note, so tackle it all the way. Make sure you can understand it. But look at how easy this is going to be now. I'm going to find these amounts, and the one I don't have is the unknown, obviously, and I'll work it out. So I know I've used depreciation already, remember? Or did I not? Let's see. Maybe I didn't. Let's go find our question. Right. Oh, I reminded you at the start that depreciation is going to be used. Now we use it. Obviously, income statement, not balance sheet. So how much? 154. Go put depreciation in on your little note here. 154,000 rand. Why bracket? This is now not about money. This is about the fixed assets because the value of your assets drops. What else do I have? The carrying value is what is shown to me in a balance sheet right there. I'm going to use the blue pen now. In other words, fixed assets at carrying value, I can fill in two more amounts. Let's start with last year at the top, 8878,000. 8878,000 rand. Let's go to the bottom, 10,041,000, 10,041,000. But remember, lines, it's an answer, 10,041,000 rand. I've only got two more that I must find. I wonder if I'll give you a second. See if you can find one of them. If you read the first page, nothing. Go to your second page. Have I given you enough time? Go find anything about fixed assets. It should be in bold. It should be number 1 or 2. Or, by now you must have found it. It's number F. What does it say? Extensions to the building were undertaken at a cost of, there we go, 1360. And then they say equipment was sold at carrying value. Basically, they're not really helping, are they? No amount. So that's your X. So you go extensions 1360. Let's go do that. 1,360,000 rand is my additions at cost. Right, now if I just say this is X, I won't get the right answer. There must be a bracket. Right, remember, additions is a positive, disposals, depreciation is a negative, and now it's up to you. I prefer to work back up from the bottom. So just check what I'm typing in and you go practice at home. Right, let's see. Start with that, 10,041,000. If it was minus, then I'm reversing. I'm going up. It becomes a plus. So I plus 154,000. That was a plus. I minus it. 1,360,000. That's a positive. Minus 8878,000. I get 43,000 rand. Negative. Negative. So the answer is 43,000 rand. Right. Some people prefer to go from the top. That's totally fine. If you go from the top, you'll just type in as you see it and you'll go plus, plus, minus, minus. But I think your calculator will then show a positive 43 as long as you know it's a bracket. Let's go put the 43 in our books. Now remember, this bracket means negative for assets. But what will happen if you go home today and your dad says, if you can sell the old lawnmower, Gumtree, wherever, that you can take the money. Remember? Or did you hear? I said take the money. So in other words, answer sheet. Proceeds on sale of asset, money in. You sold the old lawnmower. We sold equipment. Right. 43,000 rand positive. How's that? Done. Of course, like I said, I wanted to do that too. But actually, let's go check quickly. There's the 1360. See? So in other words, we can't have two unknowns. In another question, what will they do? They'll tell you that you sold your equipment at 43, and then they'll say, extensions were made to the building. And then that one's unknown. That's why I love this. In a third question, they won't give you depreciation. Please remember this thing. That's why I put it in a circle. Remember, this is going to help in every single question. Right. Who has already worked ahead because I'm going a bit slow? Who has worked ahead? What are we going to do now? A total in accounting must be totaled, and the total, a block must be totaled. Let's do that. 1,360,000. I'm making it negative on my calculator because it's negative. You can do it as you wish, as long as you get to the following answer. Plus 43, plus 240. Negative 1,077,000. Right. Bracket 1,077,000 rand. Just a tip. I know kids struggle to say 1,360,000 rand or like it should be said. Don't say it like that. You're confusing yourself. Say it as you read it, like I would read this figure. Or let's make it a bigger one. I wouldn't say 8,878,000 rand. I would just say 878,000. Remember, I breathe in between because that's the 1,000. Please write like that as well. Then your brain can register 3. That is a million. That's 8 million. Right. Next one. If I can finish my third block and have my cash, then I'm done. Okay. Financing. What do you notice between these two amounts? I'll read them to you. 749, now I'll read it properly. 749,950 in, 1,077,000 out. What does that tell you? Negative outflow of cash. Problem. You're going to land up with a huge overdraft. Cash flow problems, in other words. The money that you borrow on an overdraft is at the highest interest. You might be at your limit anyway. Incomes, financing activity. Now, a company's money mustn't come from selling shares and taking out loans. You can only do that up to a point. Money must come from there, unless we don't have a choice. Loan can be a good thing or selling shares if you invest that money very well. Okay, let's start here. We have to learn this format. So you just remember, big money comes from shares and loans. So let's write this out. Proceeds from shares issued. Ask yourself when you write this, is this money in or out? You sell shares, money in. Secondly, repurchase of shares. As you know very well, this is now the big thing. You'll always be asked both. It can be asked in the ledger. It can be asked in the notes. If we might have time maybe to do a note. Repurchase of shares. Why am I putting a bracket before even looking at the question? It says repurchase. I have to take money out of my bank account, cash outflow to repurchase shares. Watch out for that one. And then lastly, I see up there they typed in change in investments. A change can be in or out. I don't like saying change. I prefer to say, leave a gap, in loans or long-term borrowings. So that if I then figure it out, I know if the money went up or down. I prefer that my class says increase or decrease or something like that. Let's get started. Let's do the easy bit first. It's always good to put the easy bit in, then you get your marks and you get confidence. Very easy. Find the loan. There's my balance sheet. Find the loan. There we go. Now, here comes the following. You have to do the change. That's why I made the arrow there. You have to do the change from last year to this year. Look what happened to my loan. It went from 2.8 million rand to 2,450,000, or 2.8 million and 2.45 million. It went down, which is great, but it cost me money. Now, what I write is, and your teacher might do the exact opposite. Let them explain to you in class. It doesn't matter as long as you understand. What I have now, a 2,450,000 rand loan minus last year's loan. Whoop, see, my gaps are not in the right place now. There we go. So I'm typing this. I'm typing what I have now. This is the way I do it. This year minus last year. 2,450,000 minus 2,800,000 equals a decrease of 350. Not cash, loan. So go here and then you write decrease in loan. Don't think cash now, think loan. Right. You might have borrowed a little bit of money somewhere from somebody. You want that loan to go down, but it costs you. It costs you money. And once you realize, let's look at this, that your loan went down, you want to know, what happened to my cash? The only way you can decrease your loan is by paying. So I've got a cash outflow of 350,000 Rand. Oh, there's questions. Wait. Let's see. This is, let's look at this one. It's Zanolwazi. He's saying, is the income tax amount, is it a must to put negative before the amounts? This sounds like somebody, well done, that has done this before, and possibly, let's go back to this one, his teacher might have put plus, 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 and also 630. So his teacher might have explained it like this. I want to write it up there, this amount here. He could have said, I paid 41750. See, now I'm making it a plus. And I paid tax, 560,000 Rand. And I paid 28,500 Rand. And then your teacher said, you paid 630. And then he says, show it with a bracket. That's 100%. Some memos will show it like that. I know it's confusing. It's just my method, but no, Zanolwazi, it's not compulsory. You can put plus, 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 but watch out for the pluses and minuses. Just make sure by practicing now, maybe that's specifically from 10 different papers, old exam papers, and see if you get it right every time. Your pluses will then just be opposite. Okay, seems we have to hurry up a bit. Can I maybe do one? Oh, please use a darker. I've done the darker. I think that's maybe all that's important now. Sorry if I missed your WhatsApp. Let's go finish up. Shares up here. I think we've got 10 minutes. I hope I heard correctly. Where are we? Okay, now we do the shares. Please don't look at share capital only, because this shows the net effect. I'm going to show you here. Don't worry, we'll still finish. I'm going to show you, as you know, the share capital note. Let's look at this. What am I showing here using my balance sheet information? Look at this. I'm showing that the capital note in my balance sheet ends with 5,950,000 Rand. Sorry, let me start again. I'll move to the middle. 5,950,000 Rand is the start. And then I go here, whoopsie, to the end. Thank you. And then I see I have 7,280,000 Rand here. But that's not enough information. Why am I making two dots? Because if this is my capital note, I need to know, go to your second page and find out on your second page what they tell you about share capital. Now look at all this important information. I'm not looking for authorized. I'm looking for 700,000 at the start. So circle that. I'm looking for 120,000 new shares issued. And I'm looking for 20,000 repurchased. Very important information. Let's go write that in. So go to your piece of paper where you make a rough note. I can move this paper up a bit. Let me see. There we go. On the left, this is the Rand value. See, it's okay. This is the Rand value. I'm going to put the number of shares on the left. We just read that we started with 700,000 shares, that we issued 120,000 shares, and that we repurchased, bracket, 20,000 shares. Now I see at 1527, let's see who was this. Somebody said, I moved too fast, I must do SARS again. And somebody also said, move slow, I'm sorry. There, ID Makize is saying hi, hello. Right. Let's see. Sorry that I'm not redoing text, but let's see if you get this. This is quite difficult. I can do this. I started with 700,000. I added 120,000 and I repurchased 20,000. I'm left with 800,000 shares. Right. What else are they telling me? I need more information. I can't have gaps here. I have a bracket there for repurchase. Let's see. They were issued at question mark amount, okay? Now, normally that would be a problem. Let's go look at your answer page. Right. Look at your answer page. Proceeds from shares issued must be worked out as well as repurchase. I still have not got those. I'm looking for more information. Right. Look at this one. 20,000 shares were repurchased. Thank goodness they're giving me 1550. Why am I saying thank goodness? Because I don't want the average price now. I want the actual purchase price, because the cash out, and now I must use my other pen again. Let's go write it in. That's easy. Okay, I've got 5 minutes. Let's do this. You write here by repurchase. I must write it at the bottom so you can see. 20,000 shares at 15 Rand 50. I must have spent 310,000 in total. Bank. It's the total price now, not the split between share capital, average price, and retained income as usual. Let's put the 310 in. Then let's see. If I have this information, can't I get the missing information myself by doing this note? Go put your 310,000 Rand there. Can you all see what's going to happen? I can get that myself because I need it. So, one missing amount, let's go from the bottom. Type in 7,280,000 Rand. If that was a minus and I'm working back up, go add your 3, did I say plus? No, I didn't. Plus 310,000 Rand, and then go minus 5,950,000 Rand. Wonderful. What do I have here? I have my missing amount. Right. I might be cut off if we don't finish, but at least we've done most of it. Let's go put in, and thank you for bearing with me. This is my first time, but I still love accounting. So, 1,640,000 Rand. Let's summarize here. I have to read this quickly. Oh, they want me to repeat the dividends. And, oh, Kukau saying I'm going too fast. Must be a woman thing. I think the man is more calm, the guy that actually does this. Okay. Forget about what you don't understand. Just focus on this quickly. Where did this money come from? Shares issued. Where did this money go to? Shares repurchased. Where did this money go to? Loan repaid. If you add, you're going to get, I'm taking a shortcut, I've got that there, 852,000 Rand. Yay. I've got ABC. I have where we started, my 3 blocks. A, B, C. Add. 749,950 positive minus 1,077,000 negative plus 852,000 equals. I have to get this. I'm putting it in red pen. I have to, when I finish, almost done, 524,950. Because if I fill in this, I will double check up and down that I get 524. 950, right? Okay, don't know if I have to say goodbye at some point. Can I still go on for a minute? Okay, one more minute. Let's go find our cash at the start of the year. Back to the balance sheet. Watch out for cash. Quickly, why am I saying watch out for cash? Think bank account. Think what you don't like. You do not like a credit. Why not? Because a credit is an overdraft. Watch out for petty cash. So look at those 4 amounts quickly while I write them down. Okay? I'm going to take this page away. Look at those 4 amounts for bank and petty cash. Let's see. At the start of the year, what do I have? I have an overdraft. The guy that asked earlier about the negative, please put a negative now. I have an overdraft, 348,450. And then at least I have a little bit, 3,000 in the petty cash. What is that? That is negative 345,450. Let me see. Wonderful. Look what happens now. 345,450. Now please remember, top down, bottom up. 524,950 minus 345,450. Wonderful. That's why I love cash flow. Look at that. Double check top, bottom up if you want. It's a positive. That time. We have to finish. I say thank you to everyone and have a wonderful day, and maybe we can talk again another day. Hey? Hope you practice very hard and get good results. Thank you. Bye-bye.